hello ladies. I haven't made a video in a while. I got some questions concerning online dating for whatever reason. So I'm going to give you my opinions on it. I have some do's and don'ts I think are very important. And this is for women who are looking for a real relationship, whether it be marriage, which I'm not for, but if you're into marriage or you're looking for someone to spend the rest of your life with, I'm going to be honest with you about what you need to look for if you're doing the online dating, because it is a very popular form now of meeting people. But if you're out there just looking for a good time for a night or whatever, well, that's what you'll get. They'll know. Guys know. They know what they're looking for. And if that's what you put out, well, that's exactly what you're going to get, is a guy who just wants to use you and toss you out. But like I said, if this is for someone who's really wants to really meet somebody. First thing is the obvious, the regular rules here. You don't ever meet them in a private place. Always make sure you meet in a public place that's full of people. I'd say earlier in the evening, if anything, lunch, whatever. Make it a coffee shop type of thing, like Starbucks, whatever. Do not make it a big old dinner the first time, because if you meet this person and you realize you don't like them, you don't want to have to go through this whole process of going through this whole dinner and deal with these people or this man. So after you've figured out where you're going to meet, what have you, ladies, girls, if you like somebody right off the bat. Okay, let's not play games here, and let's quit. Like I said, let's quit giving the power to the man. It's time that feminism. You can call that whatever you want, workplace voting from years ago, and all this other stuff. But there's also another place that women need to work on, and that in life, and that's how you're treated by men and what you put up with from men. We all know that the abuse out there is incredible. I know. I experienced it. I went through a lot of abuse, physical and emotional abuse. Um, and that's why I can tell you about this. If I hadn't experienced it, I'd be stupid trying to tell you how to look for things, because to me, people who haven't experienced something, I don't think they really have what it takes to give you advice. So I have been through all this. Um, when you meet a guy that online, this is an online thing, or I guess you could put it anyway, any guy that you're going to meet for the first date or whatever, but particularly online, because you really don't get to know people that well as much as you might think you do. If you're out with him and you realize, and let's face it, within a few minutes you know if you're going to like somebody. If you realize, I don't really like this guy, it's just not clicking, there's not that chemistry, there's not that whatever, um, don't, I don't know what it is that women think they have to be the fixer and the nice one all the time. I'm not saying be rude and be mean, but I know personally, if I were on a date with somebody and that guy knew there wasn't a connection, I would rather that guy look at me and say, look, you're a really nice woman and all, but I just, excuse me, I just don't feel that connection. And what do you think? What do you feel? Kind of like, let's end it. You need to do that, ladies. Don't cause yourself stress by hanging out with this guy that you're meeting and thinking you got to get through it, you got to be nice, blah blah blah, bull on all of that, ladies. Okay, come on. Let's get past that whole thing of us being the fixers and let's be the do-gooders. We have the right to stick up for ourselves, and we should. The minute you are with a guy and you realize, I don't really like him, let him know. Don't be mean. I'm not saying hurt the guy by saying, hey, you're a jerk. you know, unless he actually comes off like a real nasty jerk, yeah, then say, you know what, you're a jerk. I don't want to see you anymore. Get up and leave. And that's the other thing. Make sure that when you leave from a first date that you meet online, don't let him walk you out to the parking lot. I don't care, even if you do like him, even if there is a connection. Don't let him walk you out to that parking lot. Okay, um, for safety reasons, obviously. And if possible, when that date's going to be ending, if you can call somebody to come out and be sitting in the parking lot, a friend, family, whatever, I advise you do that. Say, look, I'm going to be ending this date in about 20 minutes. Can you be out in the parking lot? You cannot trust men from the internet. There are too many nuts out there, and we have to be realistic about it. I'm not here to be sweet and kind. I'm here to be honest. There are a lot of nuts out there, and it's up to us women to take our life in our own hands and say, you know what, I got to be careful about this. Or if necessary, like I did the online dating thing, and my God, I'll never do it again. And I did it for a while, not just once or twice. And they're pretty much a bunch of idiots. They're pretty much the ones I have run into. I'm sure there are plenty out there that are wonderful, and they're looking for the same thing, good relationship. And maybe this is the only way they've been able to get out and meet women. I'm sure there's plenty of good guys out there. But I unfortunately met the idiots. And one of the tips I have to tell you is on your first date, if this guy starts talking any kind of sexual talk, he starts talking any kind of joking about sexual stuff like, oh, wonder what that glass of wine does for you, which, by the way, I do not believe in drinking on a first date that you're going to meet somebody from online. I do not believe in it because you're not both being your true selves. Alcohol changes people. It can change them to be a person that's nothing like who they really are. So I don't believe in drinking at all, zero alcohol on a first few dates actually, when you're meeting somebody from online, because you really want to know who they are. Um, and if you see a guy who's got to have drink after drink after drink, that could be a clue right there that he's got drinking problems. So that's up to you. But I would advise no drinking, and especially for you as a woman, so that you have all your senses and wits about you to really evaluate this man. Okay, we all know what alcohol does. Oh, hey, yeah, cool. And you're not always thinking straight, so don't drink, ladies. Do not drink at all on your first few dates with these guys, till you really get to know them and know that you can be safe with this person to have a drink, because alcohol does alter our thinking and our ability to judge. And if a guy can't go without having a drink, like let's say you're going out on that first date from an online thing, and he can't, let's say you made a suggestion like, oh, I don't like to drink, I like to just, I like to just have it all together so I can, enjoy the date and see what's going on. If he looks at that like, oh, well, I don't care, and starts guzzling and guzzling, well, I personally wouldn't even bother with the guy. He's not worth it. But if he starts talking, sexual talk, if he starts joking about sexual things, I would say right there, you need to get rid of him. Because if you're looking for a true relationship, you don't want a guy who's already got his mind right there when he doesn't even know you, doesn't know anything about you. He's just looking for sex. And unless that's what you're looking for, toss him, get rid of him, end it right there. Say, something like, well, I don't think this is working out. I'm going to have to go, and end it. Don't let him sit there and plead with you, because what he's putting out to you is who he is, and don't let anybody give you the excuse that, oh, I was so nervous. That's bull. I get nervous. I got nervous on my first dates. But guess what? I didn't sit there and say stupid things and act dumb. I mean, I was just nervous inside because you are just meeting somebody. But I didn't sit there and say, oh, hey, dude, man, you got a nice package there. I mean, come on, let's get real here. Um, you, that's just an excuse and a cop-out for men. Um, they are who they are when you meet them. That's just the bottom line. And if you don't like it, please just end it. So, and also, if the guy, if he's not treating you very respectfully, and I'm sorry, you can call it old-fashioned. I don't. I call it true manners and a true gentleman. He needs to treat you with respect. If he's the kind to go and pull out the chair and you like that for yourself, then he should be doing that. A man should be letting you order first. He needs to show respect to you, not like you're just this piece of meat he decided to take out and see what he can get away with. And if you don't see him doing these, what I call chivalrous things, he's got to have chivalry. I don't know what you want with him, because we as women have put up with enough abuse, physically, mentally, emotionally, from men for too long. And it's time that we put a stop to it, not only to protect ourselves and our children if we have any, but we need to start making men realize you can't get away with this kind of crap anymore. You're supposed to be looked upon as a woman that a man wants to possibly have a future with, or if you're both marriage minded, to marry. Not a woman that he's going to sit there and joke about sexual stuff and see how you respond and think, oh goody, I'm going to have her in the sack tonight. Ladies, like it or not, the bottom line is if you're just going to give out sex the minute that you meet somebody and you go that night, guess what? You're probably not looking at the best guy. I'm sure there are some cases out there where, yeah, okay, it worked out, but that's not the norm. So if you're looking for somebody to actually have a future with, to actually start sharing a life with, forget the guys who start the sexual talk, sexual jokes, sexual innuendo, sexual anything. Dump them right off the bat. Get rid of them. Don't even give them a second thought. And I don't go for this second chance crap. I hear it so much now. Oh, we'll give him a second chance. No, you don't. If he's not a great guy when you first meet him, you've got what you've got. You've already seen who he is. Don't try to change him. Don't even think about it. That's who he was. And let him go. Move on. There's too many people in this world, And we as women have got to stop this whole thing of, oh, well, you know, okay, I'm going to give him the second chance, and oh my gosh, you know, maybe he was just nervous. We have done that for too long, too many years. Look at the abuse that is going on from teenagers on upwards. I know, I lived it. Now I know if I'm out with a guy and he does any of these things, talks about sex, isn't polite, doesn't have chivalry, if he doesn't treat me like a queen, I'm going to tell you right now, if he doesn't treat me like a queen, I don't have any time for these people. I did experience that a few years ago. Went out with 3 different guys from online, never saw them again. It was like, nope, you are a jerk. You are a sexual nut. You are just weird. And I never bothered with him again. And I never will put up with a man again. Either he's what I want in life or he's not. I'm not going to try to fix him. You start trying to fix somebody and try to change them, you already have a battle that you're never going to win. So wait till you find the right one. Um, Date as many as you have to on the first dates, whatever. You will know when things click, and use your head when you say that things click. Don't let it just be a sexual attraction, because that can go nowhere real fast. You have to start evaluating this man from his mental standpoint. You know, does he talk about things you're interested in? Does he talk about you? Does he care about you and what's happening in your life? Does he show interest in your likes, dislikes, your children, whatever is going on in your life? Or does he sit there and just talk about himself? If he just sits there and talks about himself, time to get rid of him. Okay, that's a self-centered, narcissistic man that you don't want any part of. Why would you? Who would? Um, it has to be a give and take on both sides. You have to talk about his life. Ask him. He has to ask you. But if it all centers around him, ladies, get rid of him. Don't waste your time, and stop wasting your time on men. And I guess what spurred me on to do this, aside from the request from some of the ladies, is I was watching the news last night, and there's a lady, I don't remember if it was Japan or China, but she was jumping out of a building window way high up to kill herself because her fiance ditched her. She was in her wedding gown the whole bit, and I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is it with women that we let a man, that throughout time, we've let a man feel that he has so much damn power over our existence, our happiness, our everything. That has got to stop, ladies. And I'm not talking to become a feminist bitch either. I've seen that side too, and I'm not going to hold back on that. I've seen that side of women where they're so into feminism they have actually become a bitch. Those people, they're no better than the guy who's just a jerk. I'm talking the woman who's like, you need to realize um, we have to have our own power and our strengths. And if you are waiting for a man to make you happy, if you are waiting for a man to fulfill your life, then guess what? That's the first sign that you are not ready for a relationship. That's the bottom line. You are not ready for a relationship if you're waiting for a man to fulfill your life and to make you happy. That's your first clue. So if right now you're watching this and you're thinking, oh gosh, I really hope a guy, I want to be happy, I want to meet a guy, I want to be happy. Guess what? You're not ready, okay? I have finally reached that place where, you know what, if a guy comes into my life that's just right for me, great. If not, life goes on. Yeah, it'd be wonderful to have somebody to share my life with, but guess what? He's not going to be the happiness of my life. He's going to be adding happiness to my life, okay? Um, that's the only way I'm going to look at it from here on out. I'm going to have to go to a second video. Hold on.